Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. Little bit of a late one, little bit of a generic one. I'm going to involve Chelsea very briefly. I mean, Chelsea's involvement in all of this is kind of why I'm even probably doing this video, because of the consequences. Is when you let things happen and things get to a certain point. And today, there's multiple things to discuss, except for Chelsea and the transfer business and all of that. We're going to leave that to the side because there's not much update. The only thing is that obviously Enzo Fernandez is going to be joining Chelsea Football Club. It seems that is 99.99999% done. It would be a miracle if it didn't happen. We will wait and see. Probably tomorrow we'll hear something conclusive. Everyone's talking about it and waiting just for the official deal to be completely done and announced, and everything will be out in the open. It's going to happen. So we'll wait. But apart from that, quiet. However, Premier League and what has gone down tonight is why I have to come on and discuss, because I decided to wait until all the games were done and see exactly what the story was, what's going on, and now we know. So before we get into it, I want to let you know, don't forget, hit the links in the description. I am back on Twitter for all of my latest updates and thoughts during the day, each and every day. You can follow me on Twitter and my Instagram as well. Links are in the description. Follow me there and enjoy. Let's get cracking. I have to start off with Arsenal. Newcastle, despite this finishing 0-0, I have to be honest, for Arsenal and for Newcastle, even as a Chelsea fan, I look at not just Arsenal, even Newcastle. They both went out with a job to do, and I feel like they both done their jobs. And a 0-0 is a fair result, to be fair. If I had to pick one that obviously looked the more likely to score and win, it would definitely be Arsenal. But Newcastle had a plan. They had a tactic. They had an outlook on how they wanted the game to go. They executed it. And they done their jobs. They didn't concede. That is what they set out to do. You could see they were waiting for opportunity. They were trying to hit certain counterattacks. They were trying to exploit. They knew Arsenal were going to dominate the game. They knew that Arsenal were going to dominate the ball. But they decided to play a certain way. Now, if you come with a way, right, a certain way of playing, no matter what it is, even if it's defensive, even if it's on the counter, even if it's whatever plan that you have, if you come with that plan and it works, credit to you. I'm completely against anyone that turns to any sort of team that decides, right, from their manager and their team to defend. They decide to defend and play a little bit more defensive, play a little bit more without the ball, play a little bit more by containing, a little bit lower, you know, or whether they try to not have the ball, but they try to press the line up a little high and maybe try and defend from the front. Every team and manager has his way, right? They have their way. Newcastle came with a way. And to an extent, it made life very hard for Arsenal. But at the same time, Arsenal, the way that Arsenal are playing right now is beyond electric. I'm shocked that they didn't score. And this is where I give credit to Newcastle, because at the end of the day, Newcastle, as I said, set out with a job to do and they done it. But Arsenal, man, the ball just did not want to go in. The moral of the story from this is, you know, sometimes you can get a result like this. Sometimes you can get a 0-0, right? You can drop a couple of points. But when you've given everything with the way that you wanted to play and you executed it, and sometimes the ball just does not want to go in, that was Arsenal. And with Newcastle, they're very much happy by taking a point from the Emirates, and you could see towards the end of the game, they were just trying to defend the draw. They're happy. They set out with a job to do. They even had a couple of opportunities and they were unlucky. But Arsenal, for example, much like Newcastle, they came with a way, they executed it. They didn't get the result in terms of the full 3 points, but they can be proud of that performance. And there is a debate towards the end of the game whether that handball should have gone to VAR. It didn't. Some would say it's very hard when the player's turned. If he's turned and it's hit his hand, he doesn't know it. But it's hit his hand in the box with a goal-scoring opportunity. So it's all very grey, not very black and white. But Arsenal, I have to be honest, are playing like a machine right now. They are. When I look at Arsenal, right, and even at times Newcastle, because Newcastle you could see tactically decided to sit and play a little bit more defensive and try and use the advantage that they have in their centre-backs to be able to, or their defensive line, to just try and bolster themselves and just keep any threat away that way, rather than actually try and play football and try and take Arsenal to the cleaners, knowing that if they lose the ball, they're going to get hit with a lethal counter, because Arsenal have that in them too, and probably concede if they leave too much space in behind. So Newcastle came thinking strategically, and fair play. But you can just see when these teams play, which is insane, but Arsenal specifically, I see it with Zinchenko, Odegaard especially, and even Martinelli. Some of the balls that they pick out, some of the through balls, some of the movement, some of the way that some players get into certain spaces, and the players with the ball just automatically know. It's like they're telepathic. It's like they don't even have to look, and they go, yeah, he's there, I'm going to hit it that way, and then it lands. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And that's not something that we saw in previous seasons. That's something that has popped up this season, but it's come very, very elegantly. Some of the football that we saw Arsenal play today, in terms of portions, not the whole thing. I'm not going to flatter Arsenal that much, but to be honest, they deserve it. You could see some of the portions was prime Wenger ball. You remember prime Wenger ball, right? The way Arsenal used to move, and you'd think, oh my God, I can't keep up with this. There were moments where you'd look and it's just mind-blowing. Absolutely incredible. But I love the balance that they have in their midfield. I love the balance that they have on their flanks. The way that they're able to move the ball from A to B to C in the space of 3 seconds. They're so direct, and they know where they're going to be, and everyone's supportive of each other, and everyone is in cohesion with each other. And the spirit is there from the get-go. You could hear the fans, the manager, the player. Everyone was moving like they just wanted to win, and that's it. Beautiful. Arsenal, they deserved, you could say, deserved more. It was just not going in. Very unlucky. But at the end of the day, Newcastle also deserved a point. And they got it. So fair play to Newcastle as well. That was a beautiful 0-0 to watch. I have to be honest, a very beautiful 0-0. Now, Arsenal, I have to be honest, you have to pay attention to the fact that you're 8 points clear, and Manchester City's next game is against Chelsea, which I'm going to be real, is probably going to be 3 points for Manchester City. So that gap's probably going to go down to 5 points. So you've got to start watching yourselves, Arsenal. It's good to build yourselves a little bit of a cushion. That way, just in case something happens during the second half of the season. But anyway, Arsenal, Newcastle, great game. In other games, I mean, bloody hell, Frank Lampard is going to lose his job. And look, I'll be shocked if Lamps does not get the sack by tomorrow morning at this rate. I really would be. It's gone not just pear-shaped. Everything is lost. And this is the thing with Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard, absolute legend as a player. Right, and this is the thing that we done. This is the mistake that we done as Chelsea fans at the beginning when we decided to sign him as manager. Right, is not differentiate between the player and the gaffer. Right, between old Lampard and new Lampard, between 30-year-old Lampard and 40-year-old Lampard. Right, 2 different jobs, 2 different roles, 2 different scenarios, 2 different abilities. And Everton getting absolutely battered by Brighton tonight, 4-1. And courtesy of a penalty in the 92nd minute, it finished 4-1. If not, it should have been just 4-0. 3 goals in 6 minutes. I mean, if I was an Everton fan right now, I'd want to burn the place down. And you know what? It's crazy because Everton right now are sitting in 16th and my team are sitting in 10th. And we're actually not that far behind. Considering Everton season, they're only 10 points behind Chelsea. So, it's very sad for Chelsea at the moment. Hence why I'm doing this sort of video. Anyway, Everton, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And they're in a very, very dangerous situation. And it's not getting better. It's getting worse. This is where you have to look to the manager because the control is gone. Frank Lampard, we have to be real. And I said this towards the end of his time at Chelsea, I did say that maybe if he goes to a lower club, maybe he might salvage something. Maybe he'd be able to build himself up. Maybe he'd be able to stabilize himself with a team where he would get that respect and maybe have players of a certain ability where Lampard wouldn't get judged so early. But he's been in the job now long enough with Everton for progress to have happened by now. And much like it happened at Chelsea where it looked like it was starting off well, it's just plummeted to the depths of hell, and Everton are just not responding at all. It's like someone on life support and there's no hope, and you've been told, look, It's either you keep this person on life support or you turn it off and the inevitable is going to happen. Pick one. That's Everton right now. Under Lampard, this is where we have to be honest. Management isn't for everyone. You could have been the greatest player in the world. Frank Lampard, without question, absolutely one of the greatest of all time. In terms of midfielders, in terms of goal scorers as a midfielder, Chelsea's all-time goal scorer. Some of the things he's done for club and country, absolutely immense, right? Forever remembered as a legend. Frank Lampard is a legend as a player. Doesn't mean you're going to be a top manager. And if he's going to lose his job now, he's finished. There's no one that's going to look at Lampard and go, yeah, good things are going to come from this guy. It's done. The damage is done. And this is why I'm mentioning it, because 4-1 at home to Brighton is a very heavy defeat. Brighton are on a roll. Let's have it right. De Zerbi is doing absolute wonders with them. And even look elsewhere. Leicester 0, Fulham 1. Fulham beating Leicester, which means Fulham have progressed even higher. And this is where we get to... Man United winning 3-0. So Man United are very, very firmly in the top 4 because they've still got a game over Tottenham and they're sitting in 4th. Tottenham in 5th. Liverpool have already played 1 extra game and they're sitting in 6th. So it's not looking good. Brentford, having played 1 more game, are in 7th. Man United are in a safe spot when talking about the top 4. But when you're looking at the other teams I mentioned, Fulham, Brentford, they're all above Chelsea. And because of that, when you look to the table now, it's absolutely insane that I have to end the video by going back to Chelsea. And this is why I'm doing it, because I spoke about certain teams playing in a certain way. Certain teams with a certain attitude. Certain teams without the levels, but doing things, right? And certain teams under certain managers like Lampard where it's just not working. Ironically, all of that ties back to Chelsea Football Club. Because Chelsea are a team where they don't do what they're supposed to do. Chelsea are not playing the way that meant to be playing. Chelsea do not have players that take that risk or find each other or support each other or get into good spaces or make certain movements or think of certain passes. Or that doesn't exist. We go sideways, backwards. That's all we know what to do anymore. And in terms of the teams that I've mentioned, including Brentford and including Fulham, that are also West London teams, they've gone above Chelsea now. So in terms of the West London Premier League table, we're bottom, which is absolutely despicable. And now Chelsea have dropped into 10th because Brighton have got a result and Fulham have got a result. And when I talk about a manager like Frank Lampard, where sometimes management is just not for him, I'm not going to say the same for Potter because I think Potter is a good manager, right? Just not at this level. Not at Chelsea Football Club. I just think it's a bit too big. And this is why I'm pointing to it now, because our next game is against Manchester City. And we're in 10th, which means that if we lose, we stay in 10th, having played the exact same amount of games as the teams around us, except for Brentford. Brentford, I know this is quite a few games ahead, but it's not looking good for Chelsea Football Club whatsoever. So, as I give praise and I give plaudits and I give credit to all the teams that I've mentioned and the ones that don't deserve it, and like Everton, for example, I give my analysis. I end it with Chelsea are in 10th. I'm not very happy. If you're a Chelsea fan, don't look at the table. It's going to depress you. And good luck against Manchester City. We're going to need it. I'll be dropping that preview for you guys tomorrow, so make sure you guys are here for that. Chelsea versus Manchester City, and it's at the Bridge. Oh my God. Oh my. Can we not play? Can we just not play? Can we bring back the World Cup? Bring back the World Cup. I want I want the World Cup back. Argentina, give your World Cup back and let's play again, please. I forget this Premier League season. I just want to pretend it doesn't exist. And we've got Man City on the weekend for the FA Cup as well. So this is going to get very interesting. Anyway, I'm done. I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Hit me up in my socials, links in the description. I'll see you tomorrow for the Manchester City preview. It's going to get very interesting and very tasty. I'll see you then. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.